How you doing, man? Says I'm in the show. That's cool. Just kind of hanging out, doing what we do. How about that? Let's go over to here. Probably should just. How about if I just like click on the link, right? There. So I don't know if I'm actually the only person here, but if I could, and I cannot wait. If this is, I don't know, is. But I really do. I'm trying to get over to David Vaughn. There we go. Hey, big guy.
I don't know what's going on.
Tell me about it.
Am I coming in? Links to,
yeah, and I know your audio's a little weird too.
My redirect links are not working.
Oh no!
What the hell did you do, frickin' Virginia boy? You know what? It's because you didn't like the topics that I had set, so I had to change it to fish tacos.
Maybe that's what it is. Dude, your audio, I'm getting like a really weird, like almost like a double audio this morning from you.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't know why. And I don't know if it's just in here. It's almost like I'm hearing it from a mic and a camera. I don't know. Oh, there we go.
Is that better?
Yeah, I don't know. That all of a sudden it went away. So we're just gonna go with that. Why not?
Yeah, we'll just go with that. How about that?
Oh, now it's back. That's really weird.
Is it back?
Yep.
Jonathan, what the hell did you do?
Did I break it? Did I break BeLive?
I think you broke it.
I broke Blab. I made them shut down. And now BeLive. BeLive is next. So the lesson here is don't name your platform with the letter B, and you'll be all set.
All right. So, is it still there?
Nope. Now we're good.
Okay. Maybe it was BeLive.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. If it comes back, let me know.
She said. Eileen says it's you, Jonathan Tripp. It is me.
I know it's Jonathan Tripp. I trust me. I know. Hello, Robert. Eileen, I have no idea why the link was not working like it should have been working.
It's almost like I went in and I changed it.
I think that's probably exactly what happened.
BeLive. Yeah, it even comes up in my browser. That's how often I go there. After the show, like on Saturdays and Sundays, I actually still just go right back to that link, hoping to see more shows. I don't know if any of you guys do that.
Cindy Harrison's here. Good morning, Cindy. All right,
welcome.
Start sharing the show out.
At your own peril, guys. Really.
At your own peril. There's no telling what could happen today.
No, I'm actually a little concerned.
Well, I wasn't, and then Jonathan showed up, and nothing worked right. And I think he's affecting GoDaddy as well. So I blame you. So the interesting thing is with Anchor, either I'm not following you or favorited your station, which is probably true. I don't think you had a station up until this past week, so maybe that's what it is.
Well, yeah, I didn't have any.
I haven't got a notification. I have to go find you now.
The World Harmony Project.
But it's interesting that you've chosen to push it to SoundCloud because that's going to be there forever.
Oh, I know, right? No. The reason why is because that's how I upload the audio.
Is that what they're using?
Well, I mean, you can use it. If you embed it or something on your website, I mean, they're just you have to put in a URL.
Right. Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm just like, well, since I'm already doing this, I just put it right there, and then it literally is just a copy and paste in. So it was just as easy. Literally.
Is what he's saying.
I am Speedy Alex. He favorited my station. Oh, Lindsay Badger. Oh, geez. There's David Vaughn. I'll just... There. Ooh, I like that you can unfavorite things, too.
You can.
Which explains a lot. Jeremy Vest, good.
So if you're watching, share this out, folks.
Yeah.
Share it to your favorite group. Annoy those people. Eileen Smith says, David, why do you use the redirect link? Anyway, just curious. Because I have to get something out of the domain that I'm paying for. And so, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why do I use the redirect link versus what? The https://www.facebook.com/David Vaughn/ why do I use that? Because it's too long. Oh, /PG/ I am David Vaughn / videos / it's too long.
Yeah, it's or you can they just watch? I forget is this how BeLive works? Are they able to watch it like just within BeLive, kind of like Crowdcast? You can go over to Crowdcast itself and just watch the show within Crowdcast.
You can in the app. You cannot online. BeLive does not have a place on for like web.
Okay.
You go to a web page.
Okay, so it really is. We have this format within here, behind the scenes, and then they can watch it on the broadcast, which is on Facebook. Okay. Okay, that's pretty simple.
Yes. So, my son, who is going to be turning 15 at the end of August, has taken the written part of driver's ed already and passed.
Okay, well that's good. Did you have to bribe anybody?
Today is his first day of driving, the driving part. So he does that for the night. He has to have 6 hours. So it's he and another kid, and the driver's ed teacher, and it's the next 3 days: today, tomorrow, and Tuesday.
Huh.
So if you are in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, watch out. Driver's ed people are on the road, and one of them is my son.
Yep. Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Yeah. My truck's parked at the back of the lot. Eileen says she thinks we lost everyone. Did we lose everyone? I've got 8 people watching.
Yep, and I just put coffee in my coffee mug, so I mean,
Eileen messaged 2 people. Now if they message 2 people.
Yeah. And if those people will then message 2 people, eventually we'll have 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, and we'll have 2 billion people watching this show.
Bacon. I don't necessarily like Kevin Bacon, but I do like bacon. I like sausage too.
Come on, Footloose. Come on.
Robert's asking a question. He's saying, is that why there was a road safety report issued for North Carolina? Probably. We do live right next to 95, so watch out, all you northern people. Watch out, all you people going on vacation or returning from vacation. That's a good segue. Let's talk about possible ways that a summer vacation might get ruined when you visit a coastal community, when you go to the beach for your summer vacation, based on the East Coast. Let's talk about that.
What would ruin a vacation at the beach in the summertime?
Yeah, so, I mean, Jonathan, what would be if you rented a beach house, or if you went to stayed at a hotel or something down at the beach, Well, what's one way you think? Well, this might ruin and make it to where, and by ruin I mean you have to leave.
Um, really bad weather.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
like a
we can
hurricane,
narrow that down.
something
We
like
could say
that.
a hurricane, but it doesn't have to be a hurricane. It could actually be a nor'easter, which do originate down here, and we do have a lot of in the fall months.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
that could be one way. Yeah. Um,
Robert
it
Stern's
could
got it.
be. Robert says bad fish tacos. Yeah, absolutely. You could have a
Yep.
bout of. Well, I even hey, you go on a cruise. There's been cruises in the news in the last few years where everybody got sick. That would suck, and that's probably one reason I don't go on a cruise.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. I
It's
can
like
see that.
taking a petri dish and putting it all together and saying, "Here, everybody share the same air." No, thank you. Tim Lynch is saying, "Do you mean the people on the Outer Banks that have no power and for the win?" Tim Lynch, that is exactly where I was headed with this. So for those of you who don't know, I do live in North Carolina, and I do live close to the coast, but I'm about 2 hours away from the Outer Banks. So the Outer Banks stretches almost the entire length of our state on the coast.
And what glorious
so
state is that?
popular
David?
locations are Hatteras and Ocracoke and Avon and Rodanth. And Rodanth, there was a movie, I don't even remember the name of the movie now. It had, I can't even remember the actress in it. It's actually, there's been a couple of movies out there that filmed out there. But anyway, so yesterday morning, early. So one of the things is that to get to the Outer Banks, you either go by ferry, which that's not very, depending on where you go, you usually don't. Or you have to drive over a really big bridge. And so the bridge that's in question is the Bonner Bridge, which is either going under a facelift kind of reconstruction type deal and still open, or it's been closed and there's another bridge you can use. But anyway, construction crews early yesterday, decided for whatever reason that this big fat cable wasn't necessary and took a big steel beam and cut right through it. Well, it happened to be the power cable that took all the power to Hatteras and Ocracoke Islands. The entire islands.
So what you're saying is that a former employee of the power company.
No. This was the construction company doing
the
work on the
construction
Bonner
company.
Bridge.
The former employee of that construction company made a very grave error and cut power to what? How many people are out there? Would you guess?
Well, it's the peak of summer and the peak tourist season, so tens of thousands.
Yeah.
And that's just tourists? That's not
put some
including
glue on it and
residents?
patch it up and just connect them, I mean...
And the co-op electric, Cape Hatteras Co-op Electric, or electric co-op, however you say it, the initial response was power may be restored within days to weeks.
Well, how big of a cut did they do?
Well, it was the entire power cable.
But
So there was like one large, evidently, line that fed
Yeah.
from mainland to the island.
did they cut the whole thing? Or
Yeah,
did they just
apparently. Well, they cut it bad enough to where the power's not going through it.
Yeah, but if you unplug and I literally know very little about electricity. I don't like electricity.
Tim Lynch says there's still a bridge. Send someone to Home Depot for a few extension cords.
That's my thought, right?
So a state of emergency was declared. Mandatory evacuations have been issued for tourists. The co-op, the electric co-op, is doing their absolute best with what they can. So they had some large but portable diesel generators that they hooked up into substations. And go away. To provide some power. But one of the requirements is that everybody has to cut their AC units off. So go to your
okay.
mailbox and flip the switch so that it doesn't come on.
So literally the middle of the summer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, luckily, this weekend is actually the complete opposite of last weekend where we were experiencing a huge heat wave. This weekend, the temps are supposed to be in like the 80s and very breezy, and it's going to be nice.
Yep.
But they're rolling power through substations. So that means that a substation that feeds some places gets power for a little while, and then they cut it off and they roll it, and then they power another substation and blah and blah until they get enough diesel generators out there that possibly they could power all of them. However, you're still going to be running on reduced power, and they can still do rolling blackouts. The response by the electric co-op for repairs to people questioning days to weeks as the timeline was, well, if we have the materials on hand, that it could be days. If we don't, and we have to get the materials, it could be weeks.
It reminds me of it was a blog post about this guy. He's an older gentleman. He was not in his 20s, so he's probably in his 50s or 60s or so. And he had asked his town to put in a set of stairs to the park. And I don't know if you've heard this or if anybody's heard this story. He asked them, would they put it in? And so they considered it, and they just like any town, they put bids out for it, right? And the bids, apparently, the estimates to do this were $65,000 to put in one flight. And I mean like a flight as in like about between 10 and 13 set of stairs. Something very reasonable looking, right? 65 grand was the estimate that came back. And obviously there's like, no, we don't have 65 grand to put a set of stairs. You have to find a different way in, right?
Right.
Well, this guy, I mean, he's of that generation. He was like, I've had it. And so he went down to Home Depot, spent, I think, like $250 to $500 of his own money and built the stairs himself. And now he walks down the stairs so he can get to the park.
There you go. Take it in your own hands, peeps.
That's right. Start building on government property. That's what David says.
Yeah, absolutely. It's public land, and I am a citizen, so I'll just do it. Billy Blabbit.
Yeah, I was saying it was an older gentleman rather than like some 20-year-old construction worker who's like, yes, I'm just going to do this. I was distinguishing the far younger children from the experienced lifers. Now that
means you can submit your emails to dumbass@jonathantrip.live.
No. Hold on. I thought this is the whole name of this podcast. This is the whole entire point of this podcast.
Keep digging is what he's saying. Right. So apparently, since I'm not in my 50s, I am not an older gentleman. So thank you, Jonathan, for reaffirming my youth. Yep. I appreciate that very much. However,
50s are the new 40s, right?
I'm close to 50, and so now I'm not. I guess I'll be looking at retirement. I need to start looking up AARP.
Absolutely.
Maybe start figuring out my Social Security options, my entitlements.
Cash them in now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cash them in now.
Absolutely. Older gentleman in his 50s. Yeah, Billy Blabbit, I caught it. But thank you very much for bringing that to everyone's attention once again.
I appreciate that.
That will be on the replay. And again,
I appreciate, because what are we at? It's because it's live. I don't see the timer. I'd say mark the timer. Well, you know what? In the replay, it'll show his comment.
It will.
That'll be the timer.
The live comment. We're going right along. So everyone, just make sure you email Jonathan.
Older.
That's Jonathan@jonathantrip.com.
Yep. Absolutely.
In fact.
Well, no, I mean, Terry, you're right on. If you're Gary V, 50, that's when you get started. Yeah. All right, I'm waiting for my lower third. What's my lower third going to say?
Oh, it's just your email address in case anyone needs to.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't see it.
How to get in touch with you? It's Jonathan at jonathantrip.com.
Or if you would, you could also send me an anchor note Subscribe to my channel on Anchor, and then just give me a voice reply what you think. If 50 is that old, or is that considered to be older, or is that considered to be younger? I'd really appreciate that. So
I think that's so you were fishing for Collins because nobody's paying your station. So is your station on air? Or is
it should be.
My station's off air.
It was 18 hours ago. So
I haven't updated.
I think that's how it works. You update it and it stays live for 24 hours, so your station's live, and then you can actually move them right into an episode.
Oh, I did favorite your station.
Yeah.
And you are on air.
Oh, dear, Jenny says.
I mean, yeah, you can call in. What you want to do is you want to go find him, Jonathan Tripp. That's all you have to do is search and then call him.
Oh, it's really important. It's borderline essential.
Yeah, absolutely. To call in. I called into Jen Nelson's station the other day, and I don't even know. I haven't had the opportunity to see if she's following along or.
You know what I like about this? So when you go into the app, it will actually say, "Hi, Jonathan. Here's what's on," and then it gives you the role. It called my name, and it didn't sound like it was like two different people. Where they pre-record. It's like some kind of awful AI attempt at pronouncing. No, it sounded like a real guy's voice. I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. Wonder how much they pay
Cindy
a guy.
Harrison says that she got Anchor account. Now see, I've lost my live. There we go. She says I got an Anchor account last year. So did I. In fact, I can't even remember how to get into it, but apparently it still exists. Posted maybe twice, but it's not my thing. I like seeing people and being able to carry on like two-way live conversations. Cindy, what I would challenge you to do, and this is not the same type of challenge like, me goading Jonathan Tripp into doing something and then making sure he does it. I would say go back and look at it, because Anchor to me in the beginning was just stupid. I saw no point to it. The waves were dumb. It got back and forth. It got to be terrible. But if you would like to if you've ever thought about doing a podcast, this is the absolute easiest way to have a polished podcast with segues, and you can have call-ins, and you can do guests and stuff. I still need to play with the guest thing. That's actually kind of neat. You call someone, and the app records the conversation from your phone. Mm-hmm. And then you can push it. They help you push it to the platforms as a podcast. It's all really, really easy. So I would, I would sit there and say, hey, go check it out. It's actually kind of neat. And, since I don't get paid by Anchor, Jonathan, you don't need to put your crap in twice.
No, I deleted the other one. I think I spelled it wrong. Because I changed it. Originally, it was a dash, and I took the dash out. Yeah.
Terry Johnson says, Anchor is great for people who want to do live, but don't want to do video, and the podcast feature is awesome. And I agree, It is a hybrid live type situation, because you can go live, and if you have followers to your station who have favorited your station, they get notified that you put something up new, and so they can listen to it, and you can invite people to call in, so they can actually reply back, and you can take their call-ins and post that into your thing, and then you can comment back and forth and everything. It's actually really, really neat. So it's not really live; it's more kind of like a hybrid live type deal.
Yeah,
for multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
It's like Snapchat stories.
Yeah.
For audio.
Yeah. So is it like Periscope without the video part? Yeah, again, it's kind of a hybrid live. So it's not like
that's what I was saying. It's like stories.
Like Periscope, Facebook Live. Yeah, exactly. It's like stories.
You record it live, and it's up there for everybody to see, and they'll see it in close to a real-time experience. Right.
So Jenny brings up a valid point. She says, how many users does Anchor have these days? So, Jenny, if you would get on there, I believe that'll make 8.
Okay, good. Okay.
And so, I don't know. There's actually a lot.
So, Brian Fanzo, Joel Comm, David Vaughn, and now Jenny.
Please don't lump me into that group.
I'm just saying, these are the people that came up on my, that's who I need to subscribe to. I mean, that's what Anchor told me to do. So I did it.
Oh, is that what Anchor told you to do that?
I just brought it up because it connected me with Twitter.
I need to figure out from Anchor how to delete the other account. And so if you go look for me, and I guess I need to find my thing. I don't even remember what my thing is. But if you go look for me on Anchor, the profile picture is a real hammy one. So that's the one that you want to find. The other one that's got a picture of me with a Snapchat thing, ignore that one. Here's mine. Well, you know what? I can do it like this. Show. There you go. So you can go do that. So hopefully that answers your question there, Coach Jenny. Thanks a lot for calling in on that. Cindy says that we kill her. Anchor is a radio station plus podcast. I agree. And it's neat, and it's short, and it's blurby, and they've really improved how it is. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you take the fun out of it and you try and figure out, okay, how can I make money off of this?
Which you can, but I think if that becomes the okay, I'm going to say it. I'm not even paying attention. He's gone. Look, if you're going to Grant Cardone this, then you're going to ruin it for everybody.
10x, baby.
10x it.
I want you to 100x it, baby.
I want, yeah. Can you 100x my Anchor station, guys?
100x, just 100x.
Just go and subscribe.
I want a whole bunch of people to go sign up for Anchor, and then but leave your stations off air. But please go sign up
every day. So every day I'm going to put an update on there. Please subscribe. That's it. Like that's all I need to say. No, please subscribe. Hashtag 10exit.
There you go.
There, and that's that. And then I'm going to sell that. Yeah, Cardone it. That's right, Jen.
Hashtag uninfluencer. It's me. I'm the hashtag.
How come your Anchor comes up with a little picture in there? Mine didn't. Mine didn't come up with a.
Did you go into? I don't know. It comes up on the app. It's
okay.
Same,
maybe it's just
the same goofy grin picture that you got that you took when you were 19 and want to make.
Someone told me that actually it makes me look old. They thought I had gray hair, and then they saw me in person. They were like, "Wait, is this you? Are you the same guy?"
I think.
I'm like, yeah, that's me. That was taken a few years ago now. I feel like like the realtor headshots when they're 20 and they're now old, like in their 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not the same person. Yeah. Same thing.
Or the Facebook profiles of people that,
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to change my Facebook profile picture. When I go on, I can't tell where the messages are coming from. So I'll see it like I'm doing something and I see the message come up and it has like the profile and I don't know if it's on my personal one or on my fan page because they're the exact same picture and I have no idea which one is which. So I think I'm going to have to change my personal profile picture to, maybe I'll just turn it upside down, David. Isn't that's genius?
I just saw someone's profile picture the other day. Today, actually, and it was upside down. I was like, well, that's ingenious right there. That's breaking boundaries. That's being, I don't know. Coach Jenny says that you're obsessed with age today.
Unnecessarily obsessed.
Unnecessarily obsessed with age today. By the way, Coach Jenny is now no longer working at the local McDonald's.
Okay.
She's lost her fry station gig, but that's so that she can focus solely on her core business now, which she's excited about. Now, she did a post about this. She didn't say it was McDonald's as it was the side job, but those in the know have no idea. But congratulations, Coach Jenny, on getting rid of your side job. Are you camera ready, Coach Jenny? Because it's 11 a.m.
Oh, geez, it is, isn't it? That's crazy.
It is. And there will be no Fake news. Fake news, she said. There will be no kludgy topics talked about this week.
No, I think we need to get away from this fake news stuff.
Jonathan gets scared and goes and runs away. So we can't talk about genocide.
We need to start calling it something like pseudo news.
Pseudo news.
Yeah, because I think that's really offensive to everybody that really thinks that all that fake news is actually real. So I think that's very discriminatory, and we should call it pseudo news. So because there's maybe some news in it, but maybe not all of the news in it. It's kind of like me when I was growing up. I would say, my mom would ask me, "Did you clean your room?" And I would say, "Yeah, kind of. I got most of it done." So let's stop calling it fake news. Let's call it pseudo news.
There you go. It's no longer fake news. It's now pseudo news.
I want pseudo news.
Jonathan wants pseudo news. So that handles the topic of the power outage to an entire island. Those poor people at Cape Hatteras. I almost wanted to go down with like bottles of water and I'm sure that there'll be some kind of effort, some kind of movement. People will march because we have nothing else to really talk about. Did I lose Jonathan? No. Jenny, I don't see your picture, so you might need to refresh. No, she went away. She'll come back. One moment, please. That was in my best Coach Jenny. That was in my best Coach Jenny.
That was your best Coach
Jenny.
One
moment,
voice.
Please.
I did not catch your impression because I was refreshing. Hi.
You look refreshed.
You were refreshing?
I was refreshing.
You are refreshing. I have to say, Coach Jenny is refreshing.
I'm refreshing. That's good. Hi, guys. How you doing?
And Meredith would probably agree.
So let me ask you this, Jenny. Out there, do your construction companies cut power to like 10,000 people just on a whim? Do they do that like they do it here apparently at what we do on the East Coast?
I have not had that experience.
Good. Well, I mean, really good.
In LA, you've never experienced rolling brownouts?
I have not. In fairness, I've only lived here 2 years, but no, I have not experienced it yet.
You will.
I'm sure, but it hasn't happened.
Well, David, she's not 50 like you are, so she doesn't have that many years to go back on.
What is your obsession with age today, buddy?
I don't know. It's like low hanging fruit, Jenny. I don't know why. I don't know why. We can change the topic. I'm perfectly okay with it.
Do you even have a topic? I was pretty much showing up to see what is a topic.
The topic is, well, I had lots of topics, and I introduced them to Jonathan this morning, and he belly ached and said, "That's long."
Okay, this is bullcrap.
So fine, fish tacos.
Were they like just too thoughtful for you,
No.
Jonathan? What was the topic?
No.
Well, the first one was social media. Do you need intervention?
This. Today's episode topics, social media. You probably need intervention when an entire island loses power and diet drinks will not balance out eating all the Twinkies. Those were the topics that I got handed to me.
Okay, I'm on your side now. I take it back. Sorry, Jonathan.
Coach Jenny, out of needing intervention, an entire island losing power, and eating all the Twinkies, which topic would you like to discuss?
Please make up your own. Please.
I defer to the hosts. I got nothing on that. You guys are killing me.
Jonathan doesn't want to talk about eating all the Twinkies and the diet drinks because that's a practice that he often participates.
That sounds disgusting. That sounds horrible.
Well, no, it's just it comes from. So one of my first jobs, before I even had a driver's license, was I worked at a company or a retail spot called the Cookie Store. It was in a mall when malls were popular back in the 80s. And guess what? We sold cookies.
Makes sense.
And, you might get thirsty, so we sold drinks, including milk, but mostly soft drinks were served. And so it was always really interesting to have weight-challenged individuals, to be as PC as I possibly can, come up and get a whole lot of cookies and a large Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Hasn't balanced.
It's a very strange choice, the Diet Coke thing. I'm with you.
And then we, of course, found out that Diet Coke is probably bad for you.
Yeah, it's less than stellar. And
apparently that news fell off the radar, so, we just recently reintroduced that fake news. That you're going to die. Guess what? You're going to die anyway. Nobody lives forever. But I hear that we're now living longer, so instead of living the average age of 79, we now have increased it by 3 months to 80.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Even boys? Because as girls, we're going to outlive them. That's still a thing, right?
Yes, it's still a thing. Unfortunately, it's a male-dominated world. And,
I think it's because you have to wear ties. It just shortens your life. The whole tie thing. No?
I wore ties. Ties make it easier. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. So, Jonathan, you didn't talk about the introduction of LinkedIn and video.
And video? No, I did not.
How does one know if you have access to that? I've heard about it, but I haven't logged into it. Where do we look? Where do we
I think it's still in beta. I don't think it's mass released yet.
They were doing it to a few select influencers. And that's the best way to say it. So, I'm sure the influencers have gotten their access to it.
And LinkedIn's not really my favorite place to go.
Why is that, Jonathan?
They are trying, though. Like, have you noticed they're trying to make it a little more social?
And I'm going to give them a good second go because I do think it's a great B2B. I do. I mean, it's what the platform's for. But the problems that I had is that you would make content, you'd write a blog post, and you'd put it out there, and it would barely see the light of day because only those that produce a lot of content that get a lot of views will then they continue to share it. So it's like circular logic. Like you have to be popular in order to get popular.
Yeah.
And that was a big problem. And it's not just me. There were some other people that have some pretty substantial followers that were seeing this. So it's not just like me and like my 250 connections on. I mean, these are people with like 5,000, and they've got maybe 20,000 people on their email list, and they're still putting stuff out. And it's like 2 comments, 1 share, and they're like, "Are you serious?"
Well, okay. So let me ask you a few questions. So let's talk about the connections that you mentioned. So 250. Is that it doesn't have to be accurate, but is that a rough?
Yeah, it's a good rough number.
Okay. So on a monthly basis, how often do you interact with all 250 of those individuals?
On LinkedIn?
On a business level?
Hardly ever.
Okay. Then you don't need 250 connections.
I don't.
See, that's one of the problems with the viewpoint of LinkedIn that I think a lot of people approach it. It's not Twitter for frickin' business. That's not what it's designed for. It's also not a resume platform. It's actually designed for you to be able to engage and interact either with something that you're currently doing and interact, so I do business with this person and so we can be connected because they may have opportunities or I have opportunities, so we can be connected there, or finding somebody that you would like to do business with, maybe, and following along with them. But, the other thing is trying to gain traction, which a lot of people do bellyache about on LinkedIn. It's like, I can post and then that's it. Well, you're probably having the same problem on your blog.
Yeah.
Or you did in the beginning.
Right. So
the way to gain traction with it is to stop trying to push your own crap and how about contributing to other people's stuff.
So I think this is one of the problems that I kind of have a little bit within this context of that argument. I understand when it comes to friends. If you have 5,000 friends, you're not talking to 5,000 friends. You don't even know. You can't remember 5,000 names. Let's just be honest, right? We understand that when it comes to a social level. When it comes to a business level, do you know every single one of your clients by name and you interact with them on a very regular basis? For a group, that's enough. And I mean this like on an average. I mean, there's going to be people that, yes, we get it. You know, they have 3 $10,000 a month paying clients, and they're just like, that's my client base. That's what I want. That's all that I want. That's all I need. But what about those businesses that they sell a product to? You know, that they sell shoes. This is a really good example, and here's the reason why. It's because you don't buy shoes every month, typically. Odd fact about me, I actually have more shoes than my wife. I'm the shoe person.
I don't find that odd whatsoever. Do you, Pitch?
Okay, thank you for kind of not validating me. But anyway, but no, my point is that I think there are a lot of businesses. I think the majority of businesses, they don't interact with their customers on a very regular basis. That they interact with they try to and they want to because they want their customers to keep buying stuff. They would shoe stores would love for people to buy shoes every month. Mm-hmm. Why not? The more, if enough is good, more is better. But I think there was one, I worked in a service company. We would talk with our customers about maybe 1 to 2 times a year. That was it. We would send them letters. We would send them direct mailers. We really only talked to them about twice a year at the most. Some really good customers, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, depending if they have dogs. It was a cleaning company, right? They'd only talk to them a couple of times. So why do we have that expectation that I have to on LinkedIn now talk to all 250 of my or to 500 of my connections when I'm not really actually doing business with all of them every month? Maybe it's once a quarter or every 6 months. I mean,
well, so you don't, but so your feed on LinkedIn is majority of people that you've connected with, and the connections. A lot of people like to sit there, and it's that way on Facebook, and I have 5,000 friends. They're using it like a measuring stick to see whose is bigger.
Okay.
And on LinkedIn, that doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. I would say, drop the amount of connections to people that you're interested in hearing about, and would be interested in, what they have to say that's relevant to your industry or relevant to what you're doing right now. Maybe you're doing some new venture, and so you make some new connections and these people, and you can do that type of stuff. It's a good way to interact on a business level.
I feel like
that type of stuff. Now, John Nemo is a friend of mine, and so I would welcome anyone to go out and look for him, because he really helps out in people getting their LinkedIn profile set and talking about how to use LinkedIn in a more professional and profitable way.
Yeah, he teaches courses, right?
He does. He does offer courses, but you can also hire him. Now, he ain't cheap when you hire him one-on-one, but as much as I hate to say this name, Grant Cardone hired him on the spot to fully help with his profile and get everything helped set up straight for him and all that type of stuff. Chris Brogan has also hired him to do stuff, but he's been doing it for a long time, and there's a lot of different things that are out there. But this is a guy that started off on LinkedIn with 0. He'll tell his whole story about where he was, what happened, and where he saw potential. And this was years ago, and LinkedIn has morphed since then.
LinkedIn is the first social media platform I really got into, and so because my business kind of predates Facebook and Twitter, And so I was really active in building connections on LinkedIn. Every networking event I went to, every conference I went to, that's basically where I was staying connected with people instead of collecting business cards. So I have well over 1,000 connections on LinkedIn. But then Facebook and Twitter came along, and I feel like just kind of have neglected LinkedIn. But in the last couple of months, I have noticed that it does seem to have a more social feel. And this conversation's got me thinking I want to go and learn it a little bit better, so I can see whether or not that might be a way to, I don't know, it might be a really interesting place to reconnect with people that I've made connections with in the past that maybe I haven't connected with over on these other social media platforms. It's an interesting point. Because
I'm getting ready to delete my LinkedIn profile and start over.
Really? Based on the stuff you got from Nemo?
No, not based on what I had from Nemo, because I've known him for a while.
Okay.
It was just, I think it's time. I think it's going to be easier just to start over. There's some things in there there's some connections that I have, honestly. And if I remove them, I don't want to deal with the aftermath of removing them.
Do you get a notification when you remove someone?
No, but these people would know. And they're corporate connections.
Oh, that makes sense.
And in the beginning, when I didn't know anything about LinkedIn and I was building LinkedIn and you had this corporate job or that corporate job, I was like, oh yeah, I need to be connected to all these people. And I quickly found out that, I was swimming in LinkedIn and there was nothing, I saw no value to it. So it's taken me a long time to figure it out. And I'm like, I just need to do this. But LinkedIn, is a great way. It makes it really easy for you to embed like your videos. So like if you have a vlog or something that you put up on YouTube.
I remember Stern teaching back in the Blab days. Robert Stern teaching how to actually take your Facebook Lives and embed them into LinkedIn. Like there's a way to do that and such.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Facebook does give you a way to embed a video. So, I mean, they give you an iframe wrapper just like a YouTube would. So, yeah, I'm sure you can do the exact same thing. But, now with Anchor and the way that that's going, Jonathan, you could use that type of stuff. It's just, it's something. Most people approach LinkedIn as, one, it's a resume platform, and it's not. Mm-hmm. Again, it's not really a platform to sit there and say, to measure. Mine's bigger than yours. It's not for that. If you take your profile and you form it into, who you are, what it is you do, and how I can help you type mentality and change everything back around and make it not about you, but how you can help others and who you're looking to help and all these different types of things, then LinkedIn actually becomes a neat little platform. So, and I see some comments in the peanut gallery. Yeah. So Tim Lynch says, new topic, any thoughts on the Twitter earnings call yesterday? Didn't listen to it. And then the stock slump, even though the numbers are up.
It's just rewind about 2-3 months still to one of the last ones. Income didn't come in as expected. Everybody freaks out and the stock drops. So instead of it being incremental, like, oh, they just barely missed it, they're like, oh, you just barely missed it, everybody drops it. It drops like 12%. So it's, and my point isn't like, oh my goodness, Twitter's dying today. It's like, if the trend keeps up, the platform is going to become non-existent, not because people don't want to use it, but because there's going to be no funding for it, or very little funding for it.
Eventually, Twitter went away. That'd be just fine.
I know some people that absolutely, this is fantastic. I mean, you talk about LinkedIn. I mean, that's their LinkedIn. That's where they do everything. It's crazy.
But Twitter, Twitter, we approach it from how we see it and use it and how it's been presented to us in America or in a first world developed country. But in especially a lot of third world underdeveloped countries, Twitter's usage is still huge. For what it was basically introduced for, 140 short character message going out, and so I don't really see. I mean, I remember all the talk before Twitter went live, and people were like, "It's never going to last." Well, that was 2006. It's now 11 years old. it's still around. It may change over time to one thing or another, but anyway. Melissa Reyes says she loves Twitter and always has. Jenny said, overlay, come tell us why.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about it.
Jenny's tried to
Jenny's trying to what?
come up with other ways. Robert Meyer said, hi guys, just saw you on. LinkedIn is lost in the wilderness. LinkedIn is lost in the wilderness. And when it comes to user base, they're trying to transition but not getting traction, in my opinion. That's possible. I can tell you one thing, that when they got bought by Microsoft,
LinkedIn got bought by
I think
Microsoft?
that's probably part of their problem.
Mm.
That they got
Do you think it's part of the problem, or do you think that's what's making it work again?
Well, I think in the beginning it was part of the problem with LinkedIn because LinkedIn really had a slump in usage and user base. But then they took it and made it like its own separate division, and kind of removed it from everything integration-wise that originally was being thought it was going to be done, where Skype and Microsoft Office and all these different types of things. So they put less focus. So I think they're doing better now, but they're not Yahoo, so we don't have to worry about that. At least they don't have Marissa Mayer on staff. And Tim Lynch says the problem with LinkedIn is their DAU versus MAU numbers. The stream is short, and the majority of users log in less than monthly. You're correct. And again, Tim, I think that's because a majority of people, like myself, in the beginning, had the wrong perception of what LinkedIn actually is or can be. So.
Gotcha.
Jenny, how's the new apartment, by the way?
I can't hear you.
How's the new apartment?
It's fantastic. I would show you around, but I have a niece on the couch a few inches from me, cursing me quietly, silently for waking her up.
I'm sorry.
And now giggling.
She can get on camera.
Well, she would definitely not be camera ready, and if I put her on camera, she would stab me, I think. And she's 16. She could do it. Hi, Brianna. So my fabulous, amazing niece is here. I'm so excited. She just graduated from high school at 16.
16?
Yep. She's about to turn 17, but she graduated a year early. And her graduation present is to come out to Los Angeles and be spoiled rotten by the aunties. She got here last night.
I'm hearing a Disneyland trip or two.
Saturday. We're going to Disneyland, baby. Oh, yeah. She's never been. It's going to be huge. Watch my social media if you want to see my wife go nuts taking my niece around Disneyland. It's going to be great. So, yeah, the new apartment, though, to answer your question, is really good. It's treating me well. I have a desk, you guys. I know that's just mind-blowing. I have like this table thing with a chair where you can put like the computer on it. I know. I'm like in the 21st century now. Or
does it double as where you eat meals?
It is. It also is a dining room table, and because that's how I roll. We minimalist. He's making fun. I'm a minimalist, for those of you who don't know. And this apartment is huge. It's 600 square feet.
That's just
huge.
That's tiny.
Even my niece said it was bigger because the last one she stayed in was
bigger than the last one. Yeah.
So when we were in New York, it was 325. So now, we've upgraded. It's almost double.
Oh, yeah. New York, everything's small. If you've never been to New York, don't expect large, spacious places. And if you have a large, spacious place, then expect to be a billionaire.
Friends is lying. Friends is lying that nobody has an apartment like those kids in Friends.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's like a huge lie. That would be like probably $20,000 a month.
Melissa says she wants to downsize.
I'd be living there by waiting on people serving coffee.
Yeah.
Not even Manhattan coffee. So. Jenny, when are you going back to Florida for Disney World?
We were there just a couple weeks ago, but it'll be a while. I think we'll go back after they finish either Toy Story Land or if they finish, of course, Star Wars Land.
Star Wars Land's 2018. Supposedly.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. That is going to be so freaking awesome. If you haven't heard about this, my gosh, the hotel rooms.
Yeah.
The windows. So when you look out the window, you don't see like Florida. it's themed for something Star Wars, so your view out your window is something in a galaxy far, far away. It's going to be awesome.
It's so exciting. When you were there, David, did you see the Avatar, the Pandora Avatar Land?
No, Avatar. They were building that. They had not finished that last year, and I have not been back to Disney. Well, I went to Blizzard Beach, and
I am not a fan of that movie. I don't get the purpose of the whole, like, it just,
I've never watched it.
oh, it's awful. But the technology that Disney has now to make that really, really cool just got me even more excited about what they're going to do with Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so exciting. Yeah. So we'll have to have, like, in my mind, there's going to be this big Coach Jenny event when Star Wars Land opens here in California. That'll bring you all out. It'll be fun. Coaching and Star Wars. I don't know how it comes together, but I will create a connection if I have to. Oh, you're muted, Jonathan. I can't hear you. Buddy.
No, he says he has to hop off. He's got a show.
Oh no, yeah, it's true. But I was saying, Jenny, I was like, if you can connect anything with Star Wars, like it's just, it takes without Star Wars, with Star Wars.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, and then I don't have to feel bad that I'm not actually the draw. That the draw is actually, C-3PO or something. I'm cool with that. I'm fine.
It does change the whole dynamic. But I'm all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just let you know, Mia Voss did finally show up. Of course, it's at the end, so she's probably still
or after show.
It's good to see you guys. I will get out of the way. Thank you for letting me pop by your Asschat podcast. By the way, love the name.
Thanks for hopping in the Asschat podcast.
You're very welcome. I'll see you guys later.
Bye. And with that being said, Jonathan, this is yet another week ended. I'm going to let you go so that you can actually try and make some money, because thank God it's not trying to promote and push Instagram stuff. Instagram's the devil.
Right. Instagram is completely worthless for everything.
Is completely worthless.
Yeah.
Absolutely worthless. Okay, well, I'm David Vaughn. That's Jonathan Tripp. Again, if anything offended you, like age or anything else that Jonathan said, you can send him an email, jonathan@jonathantripp.com. And he will have minions sit there and put an auto reply back to you saying, why he's right and you're not.
I think the mailbox is already full. So, just do your best. Try to send it, get through, whatever. So,
yes, Melissa, we are done. We are done. We all have work to do. But thanks for hopping by, everybody. And with that, we're going to go. Bye-bye.